Hey, I kind of like what I saw in Trey Lance. What do you think? There we go. I think we're on. Did we go on? All right. I'm Joe Terosian, and this is RamView.
Out there, let's blow them off the line of scrimmage. Headline,
Live from the RamCave, I'm Joe Terosian, and this is RamView, the August 1st, 2025 edition, brought to you by Kistler Law Firm. Injured in an auto accident, need help, got questions, call Kistler Law at 661-206-6990. That's Kistler Law at 661-206-6990. And check out KistlerLawFirm.com. That's one word, KistlerLawFirm.com. Kistler Law, they've been fighting for you since 92. And by Temple City Auto Repair. Having some auto issues, get yourself some John and Henry at Temple City Auto Repair.com. All right, kind of a weird, I'm going to say that was a heat-induced opening because I didn't know I was live there for a second, but we are live now, and all kinds of stuff is just kind of pouring in. Can I just start before we go into the stuff that Steve Ramirez brought up here real quick? What did you think about the virtual measurement deal that you saw last night? What did you think about that? I think it's DOA. I think it's dead on arrival. I don't even know what they're thinking. Is it that much time for them to come out there, put the links down? They've been doing it for 100 years. I like the drama. I like the suspense. I like the camera trying to move around the player, getting too close. That stupid visual virtual measurement just was so boring. And you took some of the entertainment out of the game. What a really stupid call. I hope that doesn't stay permanent. I'm hoping it's a preseason thing. I haven't been following. What a really dumb thing. I didn't like it at all. All right. Not a lot of stuff breaking organizationally for the Rams. Do appreciate you guys being here. But I did find this quote from Darian Kendrick. He told a TV station on why he went back to the Rams after clearing waivers. And I thought it played off the Kevin Dotson quote that we used the other day. And Darian Kendrick, who was put in the street by the Rams, Darian Kendrick, who was kind of a troubled player in college, Darian Kendrick said, I love the people here. I've built so many relationships in this organization, and I've got so much love for it. And I know the playbook like the back of my hand, so I wouldn't want to be nowhere else, for real. And what that tells you is Kendrick, who had some maturity issues in school, right, bounced around a little bit, was considered a higher prospect initially than even Kobe Durant, and yet fell to the 6th round. You see some maturity there, right? He understands the business of the NFL and why the Rams put him in the street because of his contract. And again, speaks to the organization, right? Again, guys, we are riding the crest of the golden age of the Rams wave. Okay, let's see here. Should I just dive in now? It doesn't feel like it's going to be a long show today. My wife wants to go out to dinner. So you know how that works. Okay, so Steve Ramirez, no on Parsons, who asked for a trade today. Micah Parsons, I said hard no. And my feeling is Micah Parsons is the poor man's TJ Watt. And I'm not going to take anything from TJ Watt because I'm saving all my ammo for Steeler fan Rob when his season falls apart in week 5. And he's been merciless to us. I intend to go after him. And you're going to say, Joe, when are you going to stop going after Steeler fan Rob? I'm going to say when he rots and lies stinking in the earth. But right now, TJ Watt is a great player. We're not taking that away from him. I wouldn't have paid him that much money, but I certainly would pay him more than Micah Parsons, who's got about the same amount of productivity. Micah Parsons is not a game changer. TJ Watt can change games. I'm not going to argue that. Micah Parsons, to me, he's a dude. He's good. He's really good, but he's not a dude I'd break the bank for. I've seen 1 year of Jared Verse and 4 years of Micah Parsons. I'm taking Jared Verse. When Jared Verse wants his dough, if he stays on this trajectory, oh yeah, okay, if we're going to give it to somebody, let's give it to him. I'm not real crazy about Micah Parsons. And I know somebody threw out there, hey, Micah Parsons to the Rams. You know, do you know who this Rams team is? Do you really think they would make that move? Well, what a stupid move that would be. I don't know who in the KBM put that out there, or they were just going off something they saw on X or Twitter. But no on Micah Parsons, not at all. And then Steve Ramirez actually came back and said McLaurin maybe, but no. Terry McLaurin, we shared last night after the Hall of Fame game. We actually did a live broadcast on LA Rams of Inglewood. It's on Facebook. It's a Facebook page for the Rams that I actually was recently made a moderator of. And it's one of the few Ram group pages that actually posts somewhat decent content where a lot of them are not very good at all. So we did a live show there, and I'm planning on doing a live one there as of right now after each Rams game this year or later that night. But that subject came about Terry McLaurin. I don't see the Cowboys or the Texans getting rid of either of these guys. This is just, how would we call it? We would call it, that's just another part of negotiation, right? I'm done. What's next is they're going to scrub all their social media of the teams they're on, right? McLaurin's a little more mature. To me, McLaurin is proven. I like Terry McLaurin, but Rams don't need Terry McLaurin. They don't. Maybe mid-season if there's injuries or something. Rams don't need Terry McLaurin. I like Terry McLaurin. You know, he's one of the two receivers outside of the Rams world that I kind of like. I've always liked Cortland Sutton, and I like Terry McLaurin because they prove they can get it done in chaos. And so, but I wouldn't make that deal because I want to see Devontae Adams. I want to see Puka Nacua. We know those guys are going to play. I want to see what $10 million buys me with Tutu Atwell, and I want to see Jordan Whittington, and I want to see Kanata Mumfield. I want to see those guys more than I want to see Terry McLaurin. And the Rams wide receiver room is too deep. And this is a note for later in the show, but I don't know how long we're going to go today. But as soon as Terry McLaurin made that contract demand or whatever it was that just to get everyone's attention, the Bolts, Horowitz, should have been on the phone 5 minutes afterwards and saying, what can we give the Taxkins to get Terry McLaurin here? Terry McLaurin makes the Bolts a NFC West contender, and it makes them an AFC West contender and an AFC West contender too, because that's what they're missing. That's the one thing they didn't get. You hear all these ridiculous conversations about Justin Herbert looked terrible against the Texans in the playoffs last year. He didn't look great, but did you see the garbage he was throwing to? Did you see that? That was ridiculous, and that's not going to work, right? And they didn't get a big name receiver. They didn't get him that. They built up that running game. They built up that offensive line, but they still don't have that big line receiver. And conversations with Keenan Allen are stupid and ridiculous. Note to Harbaugh, use your leverage with the Spanos family, if you got any, and say, get me Terry McLaurin, right? There we go. Let's see. USA Expat cannot wait for a Hunter Mumfield-led offense versus Dallas. Yeah, guys, that's 8 days away. Looking forward to that. By the way, that's my birthday. I wear double X, and I eat lobster. So if you want to send me, gift certificate, Venmo me some dough for I get lobster, that would be great. But, Rams open with the Cowboys August 9th at 4 p.m. Looking forward to that one. We'll talk about that in a minute. Steve Ramirez, it's just for preseason, but made by next year looked fake. What was that, Steve? Help me with that one real quick. USA Expect, keep her happy, keep it short tonight. Okay, talking about my wife. There we go. USA Expat, why can't there be Steve Ramirez is talking about the virtual measurements. Yeah. Just for preseason, so maybe by next year. Didn't it look stupid though? Thank you, Steve. I thought it looked fake too. USA Expert, why can't there be an all-pro offensive tackle demanding a trade to the Rams? Did you see the Raiders just extended Colton Miller for another couple of years? That was a smart move by the Raiders. Micah Gutierrez, especially since Parsons took to Twitter to bash the Cowboys front office, I'd rather not have that energy in our locker room. We need team players. And again, there is that thing that we always talk about. Again, the Darian Kendrick quote, the Kevin Dotson quote yesterday. There's a certain standard that the Rams have that keeps their locker room professional, keeps it focused, keeps it team first. And even hard moves, which disappoint us. The first time we got rid of Jalen Ramsey, right? Well, not the first time, when we got rid of Jalen Ramsey, when you see Robert Woods go, when you see Cooper Kupp go to Seattle, when you see those things happen, you hate them, you don't like them. But what it says to the room is, hey, man, we're about winning right now. We're about being professional. We're not going to get cloudy in our judgment. No one's going to be favored over another. So I think every time they make those hard calls, it just lends credibility to the organization. And I don't know. Cowboys, I don't like what they do at all. Let's see, USA Expat, permission to wear your Ram socks on your birthday. Oh, are you serious? The Marshalls? The Marshalls, really? You want me to wear the Marshalls? I don't want to. I'm saving that for the Super Bowl this year. Saving that for the Super Bowl. I don't know. I don't want to go that far. Thank you, Steve. Yeah, the virtual first down marker. Tribe. Joe, do you think Landman will start next to Spates, or will it be one of the rookies? What was interesting is that, there was the Landman talk that started about 48 hours ago. And just last night and this morning, I saw a whole piece on Omar Spates and how well he's looked. I think they're going to be the two guys knocking heads. Pooh Paul is kind of taking a step back because of that calf injury. He's going to be there. And honestly, I'd rather see Troy Reeder go to the coaching staff. We've gotten the best out of Troy Reeder. But, yeah, I think it's Spates and Landman. Spates looked great last year for a guy that was undrafted. He's got wheels. He's got the ability to knock heads. And now he's got some experience. And we're going to see him do some better things this year. Landman's got experience, and he's an upgrade from Roseboom. Mr. Powers down in Irvine, thinking out loud, if Verse has a great year, do you think he would demand renegotiating earlier? Probably. Yeah. It's hard because, right, this guy's rookie of the year. What did they credit him with last year? 5 sacks in the regular season, and then he went off in the postseason. You need those sacks to create the argument, but yeah, I think he, this is the NFL. I think he might, but Jared Verse might be that one guy that you say, yeah, I've seen enough. We're going to extend him. And if you extend him after his second year, it might not cost you so much comparatively to his third and fourth. But yeah, Rams do business. These players do business. Jared Verse is one guy that I think, yeah, you might want to, yeah, okay, I'm going to give him his dough. Another one I'm thinking about is Kobe Turner. Now, he's not Aaron Donald, so he's not going to be making that kind of money. He's not Chris Jones, but he's a guy I might want to extend early, and the Rams have a history of doing that. They extended Kupp early. They extended Higbee early. The Rams have done that before. So, yeah, I think that's a possibility. I think that's a real possibility. And, Verse so far has looked great. And he's hitting all the marks. He's a team guy. He's a leader. He's hitting all those marks that says, oh, this is a guy you want to be in business with. Sign him early, extend him early, and maybe avoid some of that drama that you're going to get coming into the fourth year rather than the third year. So yeah, that's a good question, Mr. Pat. Something they need to think about. Something everyone needs to think about. Who's on that list? At most, Kobe Turner, the conductor, at most. What I'm worried about Kobe Turner is he's going to go Mike Reed and join the music industry. No one remembers Mike Reed was an all-pro DT with the Cincinnati Bengals in the mid-'70s, and he left football to go write songs. And, oh, boy, that's really stupid, but he actually won some Grammys. And Kobe Turner, man, I don't like it when I see him doing the national anthem at a Dodger game because I'm worried about them sucking him away before we get the best out of him. So he's the only other one. Safeties come and go, corners come and go, right? And Josiah Stewart could be the end of Byron Young. He could be the end of Byron Young. Byron Young will be 29 when his second contract comes around. I like Byron Young. I hope Byron Young stays forever. Great bookend. But, yeah, it could be that you pay Verse early, you move Byron Young at the end of his contract. Micah Gutierrez, Kobe Turner has established himself as a solid captain on the defense. I expect him to stick around. I want him to stick around. I think he will stick around, but he's not Aaron Donald, right? If it's between giving the big bucks money, I mean, we're talking the 40 Rock contract, you're going to give it to Verse at this point right now, right? You'd give it to Verse before you'd give it to Turner. The ceiling is that much higher for Verse, I would think. Let's see. Mikey Gutierrez, also, he's my wife's favorite player, and him staying equals happy wife. All right. There we go. Let me keep rolling through here. I didn't read anything negative in Sean McVay's comments about Alaric Jackson. This is not a knee injury. It's blood clots. Okay, right? So I see it as the Rams covering all their bases, because if something tragic happened here, because it's a blood clot issue, if something tragic happened and in any way the Rams looked in any way like they were rushing Alaric Jackson back, we know what the KBM will do with the situation. See Hank Gathers, right? If you go back that far, everyone's going to come in looking for somebody to blame, right? That's just what they do. Also, take note with the expected tsunamis in Hawaii and how the Weather Channel people and all the news channels were salivating, begging for a giant wave to come in, right? They looked like they were waiting for a pizza to arrive for that tsunami to hit the shores. So, again, something to think about there. Rams open the season next week, August 9th at 4 p.m. against the Cowboys. I do have this to say. My first Ram game was August 10th, 1974. It was a Times charity game set in the closed inn. My brother took me. I think they were like $5 seats, $4 seats. Good seats were like $8. Wow, that's a lot of money, right? And the Rams lost that game 13-6. It was a bad night, but in the fourth quarter, Cowboys running back Les Strayhorn took a swing pass from Craig Morton, and he went 69 yards down the sideline, which was the Rams sideline. USC's home sideline is on the north side. Rams sideline was on, of course, the south side, and he's running up that sideline, and he's running right at us. And in the corner of our eye, you could see this number 32 coming out of nowhere. It was Cullen Bryant, who was then a defensive back. As Strayhorn is running this way, you see coming all the way from over here is Cullen Bryant. He chases him out of bounds at the 6. It was an amazing play. Cowboys scored a moment later, and they won the game 13-6. But the talk after that game, and what was a bad game, was Cullen Bryant. And I think a week later, he was converted into a running back. And, of course, that was all the history from there. But, yeah, that was my first Ram game. Rode the bus from El Monte to Los Angeles to L.A. for a football game, right? But that's just where we were in those days. I'm pretty blessed to have my brother do that for me. Let's see here. Manny Correa, what's up, Pastor Joe? Manny Correa coming and saying hi to everybody. Cullen Bryant was a dog. Yes, he was. Okay, around the NFL and other places, Micah Parsons, Terry McLaurin asking for trade. To me, it just feels like another step in the negotiation process. Again, I said if the Bolts are serious contenders, they should have already been on the phone. If that was a serious request, not on the phone with Keenan Allen. You can pick up a Keenan Allen at this point in his career just about any time, right? He's going to play 4 games, get hurt, right? Terry McLaurin is a game changer for the Bolts. And then the teaming with the Cowboys, talking about Verse getting signed early, it's another reminder how the Cowboys are so bad at doing business these days. They should have signed Parsons if they really liked him after his second year, extended him then, or they should have dealt him last year when everything fell apart. They should have dealt him before the draft this spring. They're not going anywhere. They're not going anywhere because they're paying Dak too much money. They're not going anywhere because they're paying CeeDee Lamb too much money. And now they're going to pay Parsons, right? And their left tackle did not tear his ACL, but he's gone 4 to 6 weeks. Guyton. This team's not going anywhere. So Cowboys get, Cowboy things, you get Cowboy results, right? And again, as we talked about at the top of the show, Rams should have no interest in Micah Parsons. I was really happy for Trey Lance last night. Did you see Trey Lance? First, the colors looked great. Lions and Chargers, that was a great match. They looked good. I thought Trey Lance just looked calm, relaxed. He looked better than any time you've seen him in the NFL. Yes, it was against 3s and undrafted free agents. There probably weren't even very many 2s out there. But he showed enough there, which you think this guy could be a backup in the NFL and maybe become a guy that can start a little bit in the NFL. I was really happy for him. I was disappointed that Hendon Hooker didn't get the start for the Lions. He's heading into year 3. I thought he would be a little further along and not behind Kyle Allen. But I also wondered, did you see DJ Ulalele play? That was cool. I hope he makes the team. But that also made me wonder if Hooker, Lance, and Ugalele playing, if that was enough black quarterbacks on the field for ESPN, right? Because, ESPN has to have something axe to grind. And so I'm curious to see if that was enough for them. Finally, the Hall of Fame game, Chargers looked like they were well coached and buttoned up. And the Lions looked like a team playing a Hall of Fame game, right? 5 turnovers. I wouldn't put that all on their changing coordinators. Finally, I got to wrap this thing up, guys. Tomorrow, August 2nd, we're not on the air. 1967, Rams beat the Saints 16-7. They beat Tom Fears, their former Hall of Fame wide receiver, who was coaching the Saints. The fearsome foursome held the Saints to 1 yard rushing. They won that game. Billy Kilmer hit 15 of 25 passes. The Saints starters played most of the preseason. They went 5-1 in the preseason that year because they were trying to make an impression for their owner. And they played that game in Anaheim, 26,000 fans. Rams punter John Kilgore had a 23-yard touchdown run in the fourth quarter. Let's see here. Bruce Gossett kicked the field goal. So, yeah, that was kind of interesting. Saints went 3-11 their first year. Played the Rams in week 1, and John Gilliam returned a kick for a touchdown. Okay, guys, I got to go because I'm getting the face. Talk to you soon. We're going to get this spread around social media, guys. Thanks for hanging with me. Have a Friday night. Stay cool. We will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.